Hi, I'm an old guy and I do maths. What is the equation of the tangent to the circle that we have here? So here is a circle. Its center is 0, 1, and this line here is what's called a tangent. Those of you who deal in calculus will know what I'm talking about. Some of you may not, but this thing's called a tangent. And it touches the circle at just one point, one exact point, which is 3, 5. That's the x value, that's the y value. Here's the center of the circle, and our job is to find the equation of the tangent, this thing. So let's think about what we need to do that. We need gradient, and we need a y-intercept. We need to know what y equals when x is 0. So how do we set about that when we've only got one set of points, we don't have a reference down here or up here, and we have this? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to enlist a special property, a geometric property, one of the rules of, I suppose, circle theorem, you'd call it. It's one of the circle theorems, and it is this. I'll just take a different color to do this. Use a red pen. Okay, so if I draw a line from this point to the center of this circle, this angle here is a right angle. Now, if that's a right angle, and I can establish the gradient of this, then the gradient of this will be, if m1, the first gradient, this one, we'll call that m1, and we'll call the gradient of this m2, then what happens when you have a 90-degree angle, when this is perpendicular, is that m2 is equal to -1 over m1. So if we can figure out this gradient, which is positive, this gradient, which we can see is also negative, it runs from the bottom right to the top left. If we can figure this out, then we can use this to find this gradient. If we find this gradient and we have these 2 points, we can find the equation. So let's get to work. Now I'm going to try and do as best I can to keep this in the picture and keep my working on a sheet over here. So I might occasionally obscure that, just forgive me if I do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out this gradient here, and that is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's equal to 5 minus 1 over 3 minus 0. So that's y2, that's y2, that's x2, that's x1, and that's y1. Okay, what does that give us? Well, 5 minus 1 is 4, 3 minus 0 is 3. The gradient is 4 over 3. So the gradient of this line is 4 over 3, which means that the gradient of this line is negative 3 over 4. It is the inverse of this, and it is negative. It's a really important rule. So we have y is equal to negative 3 over 4 x plus c as the generator for the rule for this line. Now we have more than that. So just, I can bring this up here now and you can see a little bit more of what's going on. we know that we have 2 points, 5, which is y, that's 5, and x, which is 3. So 5 is equal to negative 3 over 4 times 3 plus c. Right, so we know what the gradient is. We're looking for that. That is going to be, if I just continue this line up here to where it hit the y-axis, it's going to be that point there. Right, so 5 is equal to negative 3 3s are 9 over 4 plus c. Now, 9 over 4, negative 9 over 4 is equal to negative 2 and 1/4. So let's frame it in those terms. I'm sorry that this is kind of sideways. Let's see if I can straighten that up a little bit. So just let me talk through that again. We've got our gradient, which we figured out from here, negative 3 over 4x. I've inserted the values of x and y into this. We only have one thing we're looking for, c. So 5 plus 2 and 1/4, because to get rid of this, I've added 2 1/4 to each side, equals c. 5 plus 2 1/4 is 7 1/4. So our equation is y is equal to negative 3 on 4 x, and you can go back and look at how I got that gradient, plus 7 and 1/4. Now, I'm not pretending that this is to scale, that this drawing is to scale, but if we look at this point here is 5 on the y-axis, and I've probably, for 3/4, I've probably got the gradient a bit wrong. It would probably look a bit like that. And so it's not unreasonable that our answer should be 7 1/4 over here. Anyway, that is the equation of the tangent to this circle. And that is how you arrive at it. So I'll just put those side by side in the frame, and you can get a final shot of all the working. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.